right.
Welcome back. Good afternoon to our special edition of the D. Armstrong Show featuring acclaimed actor Danny Glover, a man of many interests, including an interest in healthy living. And joining us is Dr. SunJeev. They're representing a company and a philosophy called Youngevity. Youngevity is about doing the best we can as far as ingesting good vitamins and minerals and being able to live as long and healthy as possible. Thank you so much for being with us, gentlemen.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, there is some award-winning research behind Youngevity because many people are being bombarded with take this, take this, take that. So why Youngevity?
Sure. Well, our founder, Dr. Wallach, has been researching the value of nutrition for over 40 years. He's written several publications, books, such. We believe that the reason why you're in the situation that you're in is because you have nutritional deficiencies that are caused from the lack of nutrients from the foods that you're eating. So over 40 years, he's done everything from agricultural samples to animal autopsies, finding out where the clustering of all of this is created, and therefore has created an entire program to truly help people by giving back the nutrients that their bodies need.
Now, Danny, I imagine that they had to probably pass a threshold for you to say, yes, I will join with you. What made you say, I believe in what you're doing?
Well, the first thing when I was introduced, I have an extraordinary business partner, Rochelle Salisbury, who lives in Atlanta. And the first thing that when she introduced this product to me, and I heard the name Dr. Joel Wallach connected to it, something snapped into my memory. About 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that, I listened to a tape called Dead Doctors Don't Lie.
I'm familiar with that. Yes.
A friend gave that to me. And I listened to the tape several times. In fact, I referenced the tape several times during that period of time. I went out to the vitamin store to try to get the trace minerals and all the things that he suggested at that particular
because in his research, and he was a varied man. He was a veterinarian.
That's right.
He was he researched the human body as well.
Yeah.
And he was concerned that we had depleted the soil of vitamins and nutrients and minerals. So if it's not in the soil, it's not in the plant,
it's not in
and
the
then
plant.
It's not in us.
Yeah.
He studied the pathology of disease. So instead of the medication look in the cancers and the diabetes and the Alzheimer's of what the symptom is, what's the root
What's
of
causing
those
it?
issues?
Yeah,
And that root is it's nutrient deficiencies and specific mineral deficiencies. And the only way for you to get your minerals is from the soil.
Yeah.
And so if the soils are depleted because they've been farmed improperly, because they've been not tilled, because they've been growing the same thing year after year after year, it depletes those nutrients. It doesn't get into the food. If it doesn't get in the food, it doesn't get into you. Because it doesn't get into you, that starts the root of your disease.
And I know that...
And he said something else. He said the Egyptian army was as strong as it was because of the fertilization of the Nile Valley. The Nile Valley, the most fertile place, and the Egyptian army was strong at that because of the wheat they ate and everything else, the food that they ate, grown in that.
And even going back to Bible times, I know that there was admonitions to not over-farm the land, that you should let the land rest for 7 years. And I know that even in our history in the United States, that farmers have gone back and forth. I can't rest the land, I need to make money. They're like, but if you don't rest the land, then your food is not going to be...
There's a growing population.
Yes.
There's a growing population. I got to feed that population. It forces me to have to grow the same thing all the time because I got to specialize in it. And then on top of that, because you want to eat so much, I've got to start processing this food, which further leads to those nutrients. And it turns into this huge kind of cycle that you can't get out of. And the only way to get out of it is by making sure that you get those nutrients consistently back in you. And it's really too bad that for the last 30 or 40 years, everybody's been using the old model of trying to treat these illnesses and diseases. People have to stop thinking that obesity and diabetes and cancer and Alzheimer's is things that they're going to be at their mercy. You can solve these things, and you solve it nutritionally.
Wow. I know one of the things that he was... got in kind of a little trouble, but he was vindicated later, was that nutrition was linked, or a lack of nutrition, to cystic fibrosis. And is that
he
the right...
had done the research. He had done all of this amazing research that showed that, wait a second, cystic fibrosis is not a genetic condition. it's truly because of a selenium deficiency. And he was able to prove that deficiency in these animal models, but I'll tell you what, that doesn't create big money for big pharma. And so because of that, that research got pulled out. No, I'm not going to publish these papers. And you know what, Dr. Wallach, you don't even know what you're doing. He was the one telling everybody, eat butter. He was the one telling, don't eat gluten, stop eating these grains. Now today, what are you seeing? You hear all of
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's on the cover
are we
of
gonna,
Time.
is the nutrients going to keep you around for a long time?
I'm counting on that.
All right. At least after the break.
But you know, the wonderful thing is about it is that I said that, first of all, I'd heard the tape years ago, and then when I was introduced to the product, I began to take the product. I wanted to have my own narrative. I wanted to have my own story about how the product affected me.
Wow. We're going to give you an opportunity to meet him later because you're going to be talking about the product here in Columbus. But will you do something with me, gentlemen? We're going to go to a break, come back, and I would like to make a healthy snack. Would you join me?
You bet. You bet. I love it. He'll cook it.
We'll be right back with Dr. SunJeev and Danny Glover, and we're going to allow some audience questions when we come back. It's the DR